A Republican operative attempted to give some sort of a real legs to the critical race theory debate as if it's really something that grew organic. The American people are now concerned with this thing that's going to make certain people feel guilty or make certain people feel bad about themselves or about our country. And he tries hard to make it look like there's something substantive here. And Cornell Belcher did a good job in refuting him immediately. I want you to take a look at this, and then we'll take it on the other side, because this is how you have to handle these issues.
Is not having, though, a unified sort of, you say it's sort of, what are the issues that the party stands for, right? That seems to be the missing piece here.
Yeah, and specific to this idea of critical race theory, I have to tell you, I just spent some time reporting on this county in Virginia, about an hour outside of Washington. And to your point, this is something that is mobilizing people and resonating very deeply. It was about a 100-degree day. Dozens and dozens and dozens of parents, mostly white in this largely affluent county, showed up to a school board meeting. For many of them, the very first school board meeting they'd ever attended, specifically because of this one issue.
That's important to note, that you mentioned critical race theory a couple times. This is a parent-led backlash at the grassroots level.
It's manufactured.
No, it's completely.
And then sort of.
The elected
seems to
officials
have been lit. The
up.
fire was lit.
I disagree.
Yeah.
I think it started because parents have had it with the education bureaucracy after COVID. They're fed up with it. They tend to trust Democrats when it comes to education funding, but they trust Republicans on education accountability. I think that what the backlash you're seeing on critical race theory in schools is another example of parents trying to hold educators accountable.
It's coordinated. It's aggressive, it's intentional, right? This is part of the tribalism play. The critical race theory is yet another tool in the racial tribal boogeyman's toolbox to drive and inflame tribalism, which Republicans thinks helps them in elections. This is Trump 2.0. This is a continuation of this, right? Critical race theory is an arcane sort of ideal. Why is it front and center right now? The same reason that Mitch McConnell attacked Stacey Abrams when she came out for the voting bill. It is racial. It is tribalism. We've seen it grow under Trump, and this is part and parcel of it. And they think this helps ignite their base. There's no way this is not grassroots. And Brad, you know this is organized and is being paid for.
But Ashley,
we're not very good at organizing or anything on our side. Like
you all are better than us.
Yes, in as much as you claim you guys are not good at organizing stuff, you are better. And in effect, this critical race theory thing came out of nowhere. These think tanks came up with, let's test this and see if it works. And you know what? It works because, again, when you have a scared population that somehow thinks they have to, that somehow somebody's going to blame them for what their ancestors did, or somehow things are going to get out of whack, that we see that we're not as pure as we think we are. We're going to somehow see the truth. In as much as it's not real critical race theory specifically that's being taught in these elementary and middle school and high school, what's being taught is just American history, right? And American history, if you get real American history, you learn what really happened in America. Chuck Todd, when he started out, he said, it's manufactured. And I wanted to give kudos, big kudos for Chuck for saying that, but he allowed the Republican to overpower him and say, oh, no, I disagree with you, and start saying it. But Cornell Belcher didn't allow that. He went ahead and he pointed it out, and at that point you could see the Republican had to say, but we are not as good as that. We are not good at organizing anything, and realizing that he was caught. Very good. We must call this thing out right away. We can't allow this to metastasize the way we allowed under Obamacare throwing your grandma off the shelf or off the cliff did. Every single action requires an immediate reaction and then an action above that. In other words, we don't play defense only. We play defense as we move into offense. We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead, number one, subscribe to our channel, and number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.